Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Kris Rudeegraap. Kris is the CEO and co-founder of Sendoso, which is the leading gifting and direct mail platform for B2B sales and marketing teams. He spent a decade in sales before building Sendoso, pioneering this shift from like email only outreach to more omni-channel strategies. And Sendoso now powers campaigns for thousands of companies with AI-driven gift recommendations and global fulfillment. I wanted to have Kris on because a lot of agency owners rely incredibly heavily on email outreach, but inboxes are more saturated than ever. And I think physical mailboxes are an untapped channel that can dramatically improve conversion rates. In this episode, we discuss why gifting outperforms email in crowded inboxes, building a gifting strategy that drives real pipeline, how AI personalizes gifts using conversation data, and more. Lead gen is the hardest part of running an agency. For most, it's unpredictable, it's slow, and it's usually expensive. Gia flips that. It's the all-in-one growth platform that turns your existing relationships and client work into a steady pipeline. Gia automates lead gen, follow-up, and content, and it's all from the work you're already doing. You can check it out and get some free bonuses at getgia.ai/dynamic agency. And now, Kris Rudeegraap. It's easier than ever to start an agency, but it's only getting harder to stand out and keep it alive. Join me as we explore the strategies agencies are using today to secure a better tomorrow. This is Agency Forward. What made you realize that email saturation was an unsolved problem, not a tactical one?
Yeah, so going back to my story, I started sales about 10 years ago. And before that, I spent about 10 years in sales myself. Kind of, I'd say in 2013, 2014, I was looking for new tactics to break into accounts. And I kind of invented a mail merge product of myself. So I was probably super early on in, taking spreadsheets, mail merging them before these email sequencing tools existed. And I said, hey, mail merge is going to be a great tactic to book more meetings, because prior to that, in like 2010-ish, I was like randomly sending out one email at a time. And so after creating this mail merge product, I then started to see Yesware, Tout App, Outreach, SalesLoft, pop up in kind of 2014, 2015 time they became popular. And then I was like, email's dead. Anyone can send out a gazillion emails.
Right.
And so I said, what else is out there besides sending out emails to break into new accounts and prospect and build relationships? And so that's where I manually started testing direct mail and gifting. And it worked so well that I said, hey, this is going to be a new tactic. Now, fast forward 10 years later to today, I think email is more saturated than ever. I think AI SDRs, AI email bots are making it even more noisy. But it still is a critical channel. And the way that I look at it is, you need to have an omni-channel approach when you're in sales or marketing. And so you can't rely only on email. You got to do email, you got to do cold calls, you got to do gifting, you got to do in person, you got to do social, you've got to do everything. And so layering on more channels just increases your chances of conversion.
Yeah, I had read, or maybe I heard it somewhere. Someone had said the line, the inbox is full, but the mailbox is empty.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, oh, that's true. Like I open literally every letter that even if it's junk mail and I'm holding it knowing it's junk mail, I might let my kids open it, but like we're still opening it just in case. I think that's fascinating from like holding something like physical.
100%. You also think about the open rate of a FedEx box on your doorstep. That is not, that's like 100%.
Yeah. Right.
You're like, what is in this box? There's just a sense of curiosity. I think that bodes well into why gifting works.
Right. Well, and I think, people will, or some people will steal packages off porches, but nobody's ever been in my inbox trying to take a mail from me. So
that's another great way to think about it.
Yeah. That is. So walk me through, like, was there any, like a specific gift or something that you sent that changed your mind on how this could work?
Well, for me, really early on, sending out Starbucks gift cards was actually the aha moment. That was like kind of a product V1 for us. And at the
Yep.
time, it was like, hey, I just want to let me buy you a cup of coffee virtually, or hey, read this case study and coffee's on me. And those types of things would work really, really well for me. It then moved into I was packing swag from our swag closet and sending out cool swag work really well. And then how do we automate that onto the Sendoso platform? And then it became, how do you get more personal? How do you hear a dog bark on a call and send a dog toy? Or how do you see someone that is from Boston and you know that they're a football fan and send them some cool maybe it's a beanie, knowing that it's cold out to the Pats. Or even further is how AI can help make this even better. So we have a smart send feature that will go out and do a ton of research, or release a feature that sits on top of Gong. So if we're chit-chatting on the call, maybe talking about just getting back from a ski trip, now our suggestion engine is going to look at that data too. And so it's, taking this memory of all these personal things and using that to gift you like the best thing possible.
Right. It's like when how Alexa is always listening to what you're saying. And you're getting served those ads, except here you're actually going to get something valuable in the mail.
Now people are going to be on like Gong calls being like, golf club, Scotty Cameron, Titleist one.
Right. Yeah. I could use a new Lamborghini.
Exactly.
So you just got me thinking about like kind of different and this is probably jumping like well ahead into our conversation. Let's just go deep fast. Using like tactics for almost like ABM style, right? Like Chet Holmes, right? The ultimate sales machine, right? He just doubling sales every year by sending gifts and just to be top of mind with these people.
Yes.
So we have like that style approach. Compare it to take just like having a list of your target accounts and sending out like a small gift in order to try getting them on the phone. Probably very different tactics that you're using for each of those and stuff. Do you want to pick one? Like, let's start there and just start talking through like, how would you approach it?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple different ways to approach it. I think one on the marketing side, marketing's trying to run these air cover programs, trying to break into these target accounts they know, or accounts that are showing intent through coming to their website, engaging with ads. How do they increase the likelihood of those like top of funnel accounts to convert farther in to hopefully book a demo and talk to sales? So I think there's that approach. There's also the approach of enabling sales reps to have budget and spend on gifts at the right time, and knowing that, hey, I can send a gift right after I get off this call that someone mentioned needing new golf clubs, and I'm going to send them some golf balls. And that builds relationships into closing that deal and likely competing on more of the buyer journey level. Because I think in today's world, a lot of sellers, they get the meeting and then they're like, cool, now I got to win this deal, which is even harder. And you're competing against maybe another service that has a similar product, similar price. What do you do differently? And I think gifting can come in there and be more of a middle, lower funnel option as well.
Yeah. No, definitely. Because I mean, everything I'm doing with agencies is around how do we stand out? How do we differentiate ourselves? And like take some of the actions you take could actually be what separates you from the pack.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. I guess, are you seeing any difference with like small, thoughtful gifts versus bigger, more like shareable type gifts? Like I almost want to say memorable, but I think those small, thoughtful ones are often memorable as well.
Yeah. I'd say that there's some misconception that you need to be spending a ton of money in gifting to make an impact. There was a campaign recently where someone was sending an empty pizza box with a message around hungry for a new solution.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And that was like, sending cardboard. So I think it's more about, being different, pattern disrupt. Now, if you are personalized and someone likes, go back to golf, for example, and sending someone some Titleist Pro V1s, it's $50. It's a little expensive, but it's going to hit home. And people are going to, that the recipient wants that gift. So I think you can go expensive, or you can get creative. Or to your point on the shareables, hey, if you're your prospects in the office sitting at a desk, maybe send some cupcakes, some cookies, something that they can share. And now, hey, who sent us this? Oh, it was Kris at Sendoso. Oh, what did they do? Oh, blah blah blah. And now you're becoming more top of mind amongst more people. So I think there's a lot of different options to look at the different situations that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I know probably one of the questions that I would get hit the most if I was trying to tell my clients to do sending would be like, well, what budget should I even be considering here? I guess, is there like a minimum budget you're looking at? Like this kind of.
I think there's some backwards math that we try to help customers with in terms of, okay, how many, what kind of revenue goals, how many target accounts, how many contacts, and we can do some math that way if you want to back into, and we have some calculators to think about that. Or just think about comparisons to other channel spend. Hey, maybe you spend X amount on ads. Maybe you want to spend Y amount on gifting, or maybe move it to a test budget first. Hey, we're going to spend $100,000 this year on gifting, and we're going to see the results, and then we're going to pivot accordingly. So I think some marketers and agencies want to do more testing, but also some want to go big because they know it works.
I think that testing piece is probably across all marketing with the agencies that I've talked to and stuff, is the critical piece is often missing.
Yeah.
Where it's like well, let's try this out. But then the trying is just like, yeah, we sent a couple gifts and like that was it, versus like a hypothesis. Like, all right, we're sending 100. We want to see at least 20 are returning this call. And like, is that something else you guys are helping with?
100%. Yeah. And we like to approach it as like, how do we come up with a strategy versus a single one-off send or campaign? Because to your point, if you just think about this as a small one-off test, you might not put the same effort into it, or it might not be something that's evergreen, and you're spending almost the amount of effort to do one as it is thinking about this holistically over the course of the year, doing 10, 20 of these different campaigns. So oftentimes we try to think about this holistically as a strategy and a channel than just like a one-off tactic, so that you don't have some false positives in your data. And I think that comes true to other channels. You're not just going to be like, oh, I'm going to put like $10 in one ad click, and then if someone clicks, I'm going to like go big. Or hey, we're going to do a field event, and I'm only going to send like one person instead of 5 people to the booth because I just want to test to see if one person can talk to anybody. It's like, no, it's a channel that you need to invest in and nurture and build on.
Yep. So man, I feel like I'm all over the place here, but it's like, it's an interesting topic where we can just pull a bunch of information, get people excited about this. Let's talk like when gifts might feel too gimmicky.
Yeah.
I guess like there are a lot of people who would take the pizza box example.
Yeah.
You just brought up. It's like some companies would not send an empty pizza box because they actually fear that when I give someone this box, they're going to open it and say like, come on, who you just sent this? Like, this is just like some cheap gimmick to get me on the phone, versus like an actual gift that you're sending to them. How do you strike the bit? Like, I don't even know what the actual question is here. It's like, I'm sure both work. Otherwise people wouldn't be doing it. So like, where's the line? How do you kind of walk that for your business to figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to think about who your target buyers are. What's their personality type, and it also could be different types of buyers. It could be like maybe the C-suite, you think about something different than to the specialist or the coordinator or the director. So I think you can even think about it within the persona as well of what to send. I also think about it as like you want to try different things and see what works too. You might run a campaign and realize pizza box campaign was awesome and did well, or hey, maybe it crashed and the other sending out golf balls campaign did a lot better. So I think there's just like testing messaging in ads or graphics, or testing content and your content strategy. You've got to test your gifting strategy as well, and different things might work better for different people. But I think that I think there for a while, a lot of marketers, a lot of sales leaders were reluctant to change off of yesterday's playbook. But I think now more than ever, people are realizing that they need to do something different.
What like sample size would you be looking at for tests?
I mean, you can test it down to 10 people, or we see some companies are testing with 10,000 people. But I don't think it's, I'd say again, it's more of the like the strategy of like, hey, we're going to incorporate this into all of our programs, all of our campaigns. We're going to put meaningful program spend behind it. And then you can start to play around with like the different campaigns you're running. Sometimes there's a cost advantage to doing more. Hey, if we order 100 of these kits, it's better than if we just send one, but sometimes it does make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm wondering too, like as far as kind of incorporating it as just like a piece of the buyer's journey, right? So like we're going to bring someone in. Maybe we start with like top of the funnel, and one test, see if we can get some people like just interested in stuff. Then they consume content, do all the other steps versus people who are already paying attention. Maybe we have some way to retarget them, get them to sign up for something where we can then hit a middle of the funnel or bottom of the funnel and just see that. I mean, obviously the gifts would probably change for each of those. But it's also like the intent behind it is going to be a little different. So your budget spend is different. Like this is you're getting my brain going.
100%. Yeah. You can think about differently as like, what do you want to spend to book a meeting versus get someone to show up to a demo versus accelerating a deal that is at the finish line versus, a customer welcome kit and nurturing a customer advocate, or expanding a customer thereafter. Or it could be, hey, I want to send a gift to drive someone to our webinar or to our, user conference. And, so there's different things there, or maybe you realize that there's, if you have 5 contacts in the buyer committee for a deal, it's 80% more likely to close. So what are you doing to get that 5th one, that 4th one there? Maybe you're using gifting to engage them, or, maybe you're seeing that your content strategy, you're trying to drive more content downloads of a data study that works really well, or ads. We see some of our best customers are including gifts in their ads saying, hey, download this, click on this ad, read this case study, get, a $50 Starbucks card, or, hey, request a demo and get this, new iPad. It's like different things like that can create incentives too.
Yeah. And those, you're getting my brain working on different levels here where I'm just thinking about like even for the idea of like how do we get that 5th person into the meeting and stuff, like even sending like party favors, right? As like hey, we're going to close this deal. So like you're sending these out. So like, hey, after we close the deal in this meeting, you guys can all pull out your stream, like just something silly. But like the fact that you sent them something makes them probably more likely to actually show up to the meetings. And
exactly. And I think that's where like I love to see kind of the thought and creativity come from our customers, from agencies where they have these cool creative ideas and they're like, ooh, but now what? And it's like, boom, we'll just go do everything for you. We'll go out and source it, get it into the warehouses, or find you a partner that can drop ship it and run it through our platform, automate it through CRM or marketing automation, send you all the a Slack message once it's delivered, or kick off the next step in the sequence. So all those things eliminate all of the heavy lifting so that you can turn a creative genius idea into action like instantly.
Right. So I have one client that is using, and they'll love hearing this on the on the podcast. They're using some cold email, like cold outreach for to reach out to their ICP. And in that message, they're offering a free sweatshirt to anyone. And it's like, whatever university you went to, like, well, you can choose a sweatshirt. We're going to give you a free sweatshirt for this call.
Yeah.
And then people are showing up on the call, and the ones who are like real good fit clients don't even bring up the sweatshirt. They're like, hey, like this is exactly what we need. And versus the ones who bring up the sweatshirt first, actually the sales team has started just saying like, oh, are you here for the sweatshirt? And if they say yes, it's like, all right, we're just going to ask you a handful of questions to kind of learn more about the industry and stuff. So like they're still getting some value from the call, but I guess that's probably, and like, so they found a great way to work within the system. But I think a lot of worry for some people who might be doing gifting would be like, what if people are just trying to take the gifts and like they're not actually great fits? I'm not going to get anything from this. Is it still worth me actually running this campaign?
I mean, I think you got to look at the data. And for most customers that do that, like, oh, they spent, $5,000 and there was 1,000 of that was maybe bad fits, but the other 4,000 spend generated, 3 million in pipeline. Like, oh wow, was that worth it? Of course it was. Who cares? I think you can think about that with other things. Like when you get ad clicks, it's like, oh, I'm not every person clicking an ad becomes a customer. So am I going to not run ads? Or, I think it's just part of the, behavior of running campaigns, and that some of the target audience is not going to be the perfect fit or deliver at the end of the day. There is ways that you could get more aggressive in that offer where it's like, some fine print saying you need to be XYZ to qualify. Or if you're running it through like a targeted offer, like an ad saying, hey, you get this sweatshirt if you talk to us. Well, you're already pre-vetting that by maybe running LinkedIn ads. So they're already within your audience. Maybe they're not ready to buy yet, but you've already pre-vetted that they're the right company size, right industry, right this. They didn't come with the need to buy your solution today, but hey, now they know about you, and in a year or maybe next month they switch jobs. So it's all longer term awareness building. I bet that having a sweatshirt is better reminder than someone clicking on an ad.
Right. Well, with 95/5 rule, right? Like a large percentage is not in market right now. Exactly. So like you should be making that play to just make yourself more memorable.
100%.
When looking at it, I'm assuming the reason there would be hesitation is just because it's a lot of people haven't done gifting yet. And there is like more effort involved there versus turning on an ad and letting that run.
There's more effort and there's more unknowns. Yeah. And I think people revert back to what's easy, what I've done before so that I can remove some of the questions and guesses. But again, that's where, you test or you jump into gifting and you're like, holy, why did I not do this 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last month, yesterday? Right. But again, it's kind of the fear of unknown is just like almost a human psychology problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to run a campaign after this. So, well, actually, let's use that as a semi segue here. Sure. Say I do want to start a gifting campaign.
Yep.
We can even use Sendoso as my vendor and stuff to help. Like, walk me through, what does this look like from start to finish?
Yeah. So typically there's going to be like, what's the goal of the campaign? Is it, booking meetings? Is it trying to do deal acceleration, getting people to an event, blah, blah, blah. There's probably 40 or 50 things that we could talk through of like, what kind of conversion or what kind of outcome are you looking for? Once we identify that, then you can decide, is this like a one-to-many type of gift that you want to send? And is it like a kitted item, or is this something that you want to open up to be one-to-one and hyper-personalized to the individual? So it's kind of like what should be sent. And then it's a bit of configuration. Hey, what CRM campaign should be synced to? What integration do you want to trigger this? Or do you want this to be enabled for the seller to send individually? Or is this a marketing-driven campaign? So there's a few configurations there. Some budget tracking, and then, go. And either if it's on demand and items we already have, you could get started like in 10 minutes. Or if there's some procurement and you want more of a custom kit, maybe there's some printed collateral or some swag printed. And again, there's maybe a couple week lag there in terms of the procurement or the manufacturing. And then once it's ready, it's, let's get this thing sent out. Are you going to use some of our AI to suggest what to send, or the mailing address of where to send to, or the message? Are you going to use your own crafted messaging? So there's kind of an AI co-pilot agent assistant if you need that. And then just start seeing the results.
Yeah. So you guys do have some product on hand.
100%.
My assumption.
There's tens of thousands of items available on demand. Yeah. There's curated items around the world that you could click and send today. There's digital gift cards that you could send, digitally experiences, printed on demand collateral that you could send with no inventory instantly. We also have a really cool Amazon integration where we can suggest, hey, we know that Kris is in San Francisco and loves golf. Send him golf balls, but send him ones with his alma mater on it. And all that's just done through Amazon on the back end. But we also have the flexibility to have warehouses around the world. So if you want to come up with a more creative campaign, some recent ones, we had someone build like a recipe kit with some cooking items and a little booklet and a custom box. There was a payments company that did a build your own Lego kit that looked like a payment terminal, and you got the Legos to build on it. So you can get highly creative. It just delays the project by a couple weeks. But if you're planning in advance, and you have an extra couple weeks, month, then why not get super creative?
Yeah. But to go, the ones that are on hand, I guess my assumption is because those are the ones that you've seen successful results from it. And a lot of people can benefit from getting whatever these are. So I was just curious, what are those products?
And the fact that a lot of those might be like perishables. Like you want to send macaroons to a client in Paris, or you want to send some Milk Bar cookies to a prospect in New York. So some of these are more perishable on-demand items, or some of these are kind of more crafted boutique, type of items that you could just send one off versus kitting together.
All right. And so let's just do you have a framework, I guess, for knowing when to send the right gift?
Yeah. So I think there's either a triggered event based on, hey, you're trying to, book, trying to get people to show up to meetings more. Well, then it's, trigger it based the morning of the gift. Or, hey, that you need to, get the buying committee size up, and you can see each week, let's run a campaign and automatically send if there's, not enough people in the buying committee. Or, you want to kick off an ABM program and you're trying to drive people to an exec dinner. Let's send some gifts to invite people to the dinner. So there's some of those type of campaigns. Then we can automate through, your marketing automation platform, like a tool like Clay, where you're trying to orchestrate gifting at scale based on some signal. And so you could do signal-based gifting, like this person got a promotion, this person job changed, this person got funding. So different things like that could be reasons to signal a gift as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing attribution is always I don't know, a hot talking point in the marketing world. I think what's interesting about gifting is that if someone has received a gift from you, it will come up at some point in the sales process. Yeah. So you will know that was part of this process.
Yes.
You ever track to see if that was what brought them in, or what actually got what actual attribution it had on the call?
So we track kind of attribution ROI in a couple different ways. One is, we'll push data back into our customer systems to help them with their attribution model. Some companies will have their own custom model. Some will look at kind of a W or a first touch, last touch, weighted average. So we'll try to help our customers with the data they need to run those models internally. We also have the out of the box, kind of HubSpot, Salesforce campaign attribution reports. We could show attribution down to the gift itself, like if it was a digital gift and clicked and redeemed, or if it was a physical gift and there was kind of a short URL or QR code and you wanted to track that conversion data. So there's lots of ways that we try to help our customers look at the attribution of it.
Yeah. So, all right, let's shift gears again back towards the AI side of this, because that's, I think, whatever the hottest talking point for everybody.
100%.
So one, you said you had Gong connected to this, your tool can be listening into the conversations to understand exactly what gift or make recommendations based off those. How many campaigns have you used that so far, and what have the results have been?
Yeah, I mean, relatively new launch, but we've seen people love that in terms of how it builds out this interest graph of their recipients, customers, prospects, and seeing even better send recommendations. Prior to that, a couple of years ago, we launched our Smart Send AI feature agent that would suggest based on more third-party available data, things that we could scrape off of social media, and different things that were mentioned more publicly or on podcasts or in other avenues as well. That was still highly effective. But now that was all third-party, and now we're pulling in first-party data, which is your call conversations, your emails, and other first-party data that could be really interesting too.
Yeah, I'm sure once you couple all of that as well,
yes.
It's like, it seems like he had a falling out with his alma mater.
So, exactly. You could sometimes the best gift is what not to send too. Or we might use our recommendation engine to say don't send alcohol because they explicitly said that you don't drink anymore. And so having the recommendation of what to send versus what not to send is critical. And then, we've got an AI to draft what the handwritten note should be accompanying that gift, the mailing address you should send to, whether it's home or office. We will provide that through AI, the signals of when to send. So all of that creates this really unique agent that is smart, kind of and able to help you, land better conversions.
I think what's interesting too for you guys specifically is like being able to own that data of like sentiment analysis.
Yes.
Right. To know like, hey, we got all of these positive results from this gift. Here's what we knew about these gifts beforehand. And so like you can almost create a formula of like A plus B equals C.
1,000%. And we can even look at regional gifting preferences, persona-based preferences, industry-based preferences, and start to see patterns. When we also have a recipient choice feature where people opt into one thing over other things that they don't want. And so that creates an interesting feedback loop. And then because we connect into their CRM and other systems, we can then see what are the gifts that are driving the most conversion for you and most ROI. So that becomes really interesting.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and it's only going to get better.
Only going to get better.
So let's break this down to like the 80-20.
Yep.
What's that first domino you think everyone should knock down to make everything else in their kind of gifting journey easier?
I mean, I think the first thing is to just go out there and commit to gifting as another channel and not just a one-off tactic or I bet that there's a lot of listeners being like, oh, we don't think about it as a always on evergreen channel. But if you go ask some of your sales reps, they're probably manually gifting out without tracking or without sophisticated strategies. Or, hey, maybe marketing has to do a manual program once in a while. They're packing up boxes to send things out. And so you don't realize it, but a lot of gifting is happening invisibly or untransparently. And so I think number one is just really to go and make it more front and center as a strategy.
Yeah, I think a little commitment there probably goes a long way.
Exactly.
So I've got two final questions as we wind down here, with the first being, what book do you recommend every agency owner should read?
I'm big on any Malcolm Gladwell book, Tipping Point, Blink. I think just the psychology, I love marketing psychology books. And so I think Malcolm Gladwell makes you think differently. So any of his books, if you've already read Tipping Point, he feels like he comes out with a new book every couple of years. So go read any Malcolm Gladwell book.
Awesome. You listen to his podcast as well?
Yeah, I'm a big Malcolm Gladwell fan.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff. Last question is, where can people find you?
Yeah. People find me on LinkedIn, follow me. I post a lot of interesting content. Email me if you want to chat more one-on-one. It's Kris, Kris at Sendoso.com. And then if you're curious about some of the stuff we talked about today, you can go find a bunch more on Sendoso.com.
Awesome. We will get all that linked up in the show notes. Kris, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me on, Kris. It was a great conversation. Love the topics.
That's the show, everyone. You can leave a rating and review, or you can do something that benefits you. Click the link in the show notes to subscribe to Agency Forward on Substack. You'll get weekly content, resources, and links from around the internet to help you drive your agency forward.